And feel free to like throw in anything else that you don't have in here if you have to think about it.
Well, yeah, and ask any question that you feel that you want an answer to that I don't have there.
Okay. I probably will.
Good.
I tend to do that.
I gave that to Elizabeth to do a mock interview.
1 minute.
I don't think she answered.
Hi, I'm Sandy Thompson. It's so great to have you with us tonight here on Senior Spotlight on PBS 39. We always have interesting shows at 7:30 on Wednesday. Tonight, I think you're really going to be interested. A lot of you have probably already received your Medicare supplement for 2014. Does it make any sense? What questions do you have about it? Do you have a supplement or an Advantage plan? Do you even know what that is? Maybe you're approaching retirement and the whole thing is a strange mystery to you. Well, fortunately, we have an insurance specialist here that can take your calls. We will be putting his phone number up here on the screen at the bottom of the screen periodically that you can give us a call here, and Greg McDonald will be answering those questions for you. That is 969-2720. If you're out of the immediate area, it won't cost you anything because you can put a 1-866 in front of that, and it's toll free. Please meet Greg McDonald tonight, and this is his first time on Senior Spotlight, and we are going to barrage you with questions because this is a hot topic, Greg.
It is.
I was talking to Greg before the show and said, how do you possibly know everything about Medicare and Medicaid and the insurance supplements? And he said, your answer was?
You don't. You do the best you can. It keeps changing, and there's so much information. So just try to study as much as I can, and when I don't know, I call other people that do.
Well, you know, that's the thing, Greg, and why you're an expert at it and why people should go to someone like you, because it's way too complicated. It's hard to sort this information out yourself, and if you've, never gotten Social Security before or Medicare before, you don't even know where to begin. You don't know what you need personally.
Well, it is complicated. There's lots of different moving parts, and as I was telling you before, my favorite was a gentleman that came to me who was a professor at IPFW, who was a math professor. And he said to me, I understand quantum physics, I understand and can explain string theory, but Medicare, I don't have a clue what to do with it. So I'm like, well, I'm not in your class, but I do know a little bit about Medicare. So.
That's why the world is perfectly balanced. Each person knows the things they're supposed to. Now, I'm going to have a lot of questions for you tonight, some that I think you as viewers might have, and some that I have myself. I mean, I'm sort of like the professor. Well, no, that's not true. I don't even understand string theory in physics, but Medicare is still very confusing. All right, let's kind of start with the basics. Who gets Medicare and Medicare supplements?
Well, Medicare, everything begins at age 65 for most people. When they age in, they're eligible to get on Medicare insurance. There's two main parts. That's A, which is hospitals, and B, which are the doctors and the outpatient services and the ER. So that's where it starts.
Are these automatic, Greg, then, if you get Medicare?
It depends. If you are receiving Social Security, you will be automatically signed up. If you are not, if you're continuing to work, you will need to call Medicare and enroll.
Can you be working and get Medicare?
Yes. Not everybody has a group health plan.
That's true, yes.
And so those who do not will want to enroll in Medicare. Now, if someone has a group health plan, What I advise is sign up for Part A. There's no cost to that because you've
Okay.
already paid for it. But Part B, there is a premium to, and since your group insurance is providing doctor coverage and I'm assuming prescription coverage, you don't need B or to sign up for that. So don't, just get A, there's no cost, and continue on your group health plan.
Okay, now what if, again, just some more of the basics. Let's say someone is getting their Social Security, well, maybe not theirs, maybe they have a spouse that has passed away and they're receiving their benefits, but they're not 65 yet. Would they get Medicare because the
No.
spouse was 65?
No.
Okay.
No. They might be eligible for Social Security benefits, but not for Medicare itself. They would
It's
have
always
to wait.
65.
Well, unless someone is disabled and they are
Okay.
receiving Social Security disability
Yeah.
and they qualify for Medicare, at that point they can pick it up under age 65. But for most people, it's 65 and above.
Okay, again, another reason why this is very complicated, so you should seek expert advice. When is the annual enrollment? I know one time a year you have the opportunity to enroll or to change your selections. So tell me about the
Correct.
enrollment.
The enrollment begins October 15th and runs through December 7th. So during this period of time, people who have Medicare Advantage plans or prescription drug plans have an opportunity to change for the upcoming year.
All right, now, does everybody change or do a lot of people not change?
Well, if you're satisfied with your plan, you can just let it go and it will automatically renew. Now, if a person has a Medicare supplement, this enrollment period has no bearing on them because those plans are standardized, they don't change year to year, so, and they're not bound by the enrollment period. So if somebody wants to change a supplement in May, they can.
Okay. Okay. Now, I realize there are two different things that you can get, supplements or Advantage plans. Just to kind of, again, start with the basics. So you get Medicare.
Right.
Okay, you get A and B.
Correct.
Okay, now you probably want some other kind of coverage, maybe for medicine, maybe for vision and dental, or maybe some other things. So you might want a supplement or an Advantage plan. Define the two.
Well, to begin with, the supplements and Advantage plans work primarily on the medical services side. So original Medicare Part A and Part B have deductibles and copays in them. And so in order to pay some of those deductibles and copays, that's when people sign up for a supplement or an Advantage plan. Now, they two different systems. Medicare supplements work with original Medicare, kind of a hand-in-glove type scenario.
But those would be purchased through an insurance agent,
Correct.
not through Medicare.
Correct.
Do you understand that?
Correct.
Got it? Okay.
Yes, supplements and Advantage plans are insurance plans, okay?
Okay.
So if you have original Medicare, Part A and B, and you pick up a supplement, that supplement works with original Medicare. So when a claim happens, Medicare pays first, and then the supplement will fill in what it's designed to do,
The voids.
the voids.
Okay.
Correct. Advantage plans work differently. Advantage plans, you have to have Part A and B, but instead of the government paying the claim, an insurance company pays the claim.
Well, why does it work that way? And I know we're calling them Advantage plans. What's the advantage of that?
Well, they do have several. Advantage plans, because they're administered by an insurance company, now let me say, Advantage plans have to cover everything Medicare covers. The plans are approved by Medicare and monitored by Medicare to make sure that the plans perform.
All plans that are offered to people.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So those are all under constant observation. But the advantages that an Advantage plan offers, one, which is very attractive to folks, lower premiums.
Yeah.
We have in Allen County this year 14 plans. All of them are under $100 per month for theirs. In fact, there's
It's
some
pretty
that-
amazing,
yeah,
right
and
there.
In fact, there's some that are less than a nickel a month. So very inexpensive. They offer additional services that supplements do not, such as disease management programs. They have 24/7 nurse lines that people can call. They often do offer vision or dental benefits. And some plans offer gym memberships, which are pretty attractive
I've
to folks.
noticed that. Isn't there, like maybe silver seniors gym thing or
silver sneakers.
Silver sneakers.
Silver sneakers.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt you just a moment, Greg, because we do have a caller, and I don't want to keep you on hold any longer than we need to here. We have Art on the phone tonight, and Art, thanks for watching, first of all, on this Wednesday night. And this is Greg. You have a question for him. Go ahead, Art.
Yes. My question is that my wife is disabled and on Medicare. I've always had group insurance through my employer, and so she was primary on my group insurance and Medicare was secondary. Well, I was laid off and I'm now on COBRA, which is very expensive.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if any of the plans under the new health exchange program, I'm looking at that for myself, but can she also be covered under that and still have Medicare as secondary, or is she ineligible to be covered under any of the new plans?
Actually, she will not be eligible. Because she's on Medicare, the new Affordable Care Act, or Obama plans, will not pertain to her. However, she can enroll in a Medicare Supplement or Medicare Advantage plan. If she's under the age of 65, Advantage plans are certainly much more affordable. So those plans are available to her.
Okay. All right. Hopefully that answered your question, Art. Are you still with us there?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you very much.
All right.
You're welcome.
Keep watching. We might have more information here you would enjoy and find helpful tonight. Meanwhile, also on the phone, we have another caller, and I love her name. It's Sandy.
Yeah, good name.
Good name. Sandy, how are you tonight? Thanks for calling.
Thank you for taking my call, Sandy.
Okay. And what is your question, Sandy?
I am a diabetic, and I have a supplement plan with Medicare. The premium has gotten very high, and I'm told because I am now on insulin that I cannot change to a different supplement. Is that true?
Is that true?
Depends on the supplement. Each company has their own underwriting guidelines. It certainly is restrictive, and the thing about Medicare supplements is because they do ask underwriting questions once you're on them, a company can decline you if you wanted to switch. Now, you do have an option with the Medicare Advantage plans because the only health question they ask is if you have end-stage renal disease. Are you on dialysis? As long as you can say no, then that plan is open to you. Now, they work differently than a supplement, but that is an option that would certainly be more affordable on a premium standpoint. What you would need to look at is that going to be overall less costly for you depending upon the medical services that you receive.
Does that help you, Sandy?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay,
You're
and
welcome.
again, Greg McDonald. So if you have any questions after the show's over, or you think about tomorrow, don't hesitate to give Greg a call, and you'll answer them all. I know
I
you
will try to answer them all.
Well, we have Ken on the phone tonight as well, and Ken, how may we help you here on Senior Spotlight?
Well, I'd like to know what it would cost, how much a person can make while they're still on Social Security.
Well, it depends on your age. After you reach age 66, there's no limitations on your income. They do limit you or will tax Social Security benefits under the age of 65 if you earn above a certain amount.
And you can call, by the way, the Social Security office and tell them your age and ask them that question. Also, there's a table on the front of the information you get every year that tells you what your Social Security benefits will be for your individual situation, and it'll tell you there what you're allowed to earn. Thank you for calling tonight, Ken, and the rest of you. Again, 969-2720. We've got the expert right here to help you out here. We are approaching a big year with a lot of changes coming in 2014, and I did bring the Medicare booklet here. It's pretty thick, so there's a lot of information. Some of it's new and some of it's old. How do we know what might be new information, Greg?
Well, Medicare, for the most part, in 2014 hasn't changed really from this year.
Okay.
Very few changes. I know that a lot of people have questions because of the Obamacare and the new guidelines.
Yes.
But those guidelines are primarily for those under the age of 65, not over.
Okay,
for those people on Medicare, you're really not going to see your benefits change much.
That's pretty comforting, I'm sure, to
Yeah.
a lot of you watching. And again, Greg, just to reiterate that, you're saying for most people over 65, they're not going to see a change because
No.
of Obamacare.
Correct.
Okay. They might see changes in their other insurance policies, or they might see
Well, if they're under the age of
notice
65,
changes.
yeah, those under the age
Right.
of 65 will certainly see some changes,
Okay.
particularly if they're on an individual plan.
Right, or
But
maybe
for-
even a company plan.
Well, those are changes
not.
that have been put off until next or
Till we
2015.
find out what's gonna happen. Yeah.
So, but for those on Medicare, no real changes.
Good to know, and I'm sure very comforting for a lot of you. Frank, hi. I'm glad you're watching tonight. This is Greg McDonald tonight that can answer your question, I'm sure. How can we help you?
Well, I have currently Medicare Part A, and you keep talking about Part A and B, and I wondered if I can or can acquire Part B.
Well, you can. Frank, if you don't mind my asking, how old are you?
84.
84. And you've never had Part B before?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, you can sign up. They have an enrollment period that begins in January and goes to March. The thing is, because you've never signed up for B, Medicare imposes a 10% per year penalty for the number of years you've been off. So you can sign up, but you're going to have a hefty penalty that you're going to have to pay on a monthly basis in addition to your the normal Part B premium, which this year was $104.90.
Greg, I want to make sure that I understand this. Normally, if you're going to start getting Medicare, you're automatically going to get A and B. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, why would Frank not have gotten B? Or was it long ago before that started in
Oftentimes,
effect?
Well, no. But often what happens if people are on a group plan, they have their companies paying
From his
that.
insurance when he
Right.
was working,
And
perhaps.
so when that ended, I'm assuming Frank or someone like Frank would not have picked up Part B at that point. Sometimes we have veterans who are receiving VA benefits who are going to the VA for their services.
Okay.
Just say, well, okay, why should I pay for Medicare if I can get my benefits at the VA? So they won't.
I see. So
And
again,
because-
it's individual.
It's individual, and you're not required to take B.
Okay.
But just keep in mind that if you don't take B, that all your doctor services and any services outside of a hospital or a skilled nursing facility, if you've been hospitalized for 3 days, 3 nights, those are going to be on you and not on Medicare.
Even things like a ReadyMed or a Stat
Yes,
Care?
that's
Okay. Now, just to clarify, once again, I know you mentioned it earlier, but A would be hospital coverage. B would be doctors, other medical situations.
Right. In one way, you can look at A as, are you lying in bed and need somebody to help you? Okay.
A, are you lying in bed?
Are you lying in bed? Because A is basically inpatient hospitalization, but it also can be home health care.
Okay.
It can be hospice, and it can be skilled nursing. The thing about skilled nursing care is you have to be in the hospital 3 days, 3 nights before you qualify for that.
Okay.
And at that point, original Medicare Part A will cover you up to 100 days in a skilled nursing facility.
But really, most people, I'm guessing, but most people are going to be more in need of Part B than they are of A on a
Correct,
daily
because
basis.
that's your doctors. That's all
Right.
your outpatient services. That's the ER.
I'm real happy when I go and just have to pay my $40 copay and later get the statement and find out it was a $300 appointment. If I didn't have
Right.
Part B, that would be a bad situation for sure.
It's amazing. In fact, today I had a client in, and he showed me a hospital bill that the bill showed $14,000, and by the time they negotiated everything down, his out-of-pocket was $50,000.
Wow.
So it's amazing how this works.
And again, a good reason why you need to make sure that you have a supplement or an advantage plan. Mike is on the line with us tonight. Mike, our phone caller, monitor back in the control room, Justin. Hi, Justin, back there. Thank you for answering the phones. Justin just told us that you are 57. I hope that's okay that he told us that. What is your question, Mike?
Greg, my question is based on what you just said in the last minute about changes that will occur in 2014 to Medicare for people that are under 65, and I'm 57 and on disability.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, are you receiving Medicare yet, Mike?
Yes, I've been on Medicare for a couple of years.
Okay. Those aren't going to change for you. When I was referring to those people under the age of 65, I was referring to those who are not on Medicare. So if you're on Medicare, you're good. There's no major changes coming.
Because he is on disability.
Correct.
That's why this applies,
Correct.
is of interest to him.
Right. It's the
Okay.
people who are applying for individual health plans. Those people are going to be impacted by the Obamacare. Those people on Medicare really aren't going to see any major changes.
Okay, all right. So it's so comforting to hear you say that. All right, I want to talk about some of the other parts, if you will. There's part A, B. What is C?
C
and D, I know, is drugs.
Right. C is the Advantage plans.
Okay.
So when you hear Medicare Advantage plans, you're talking about Part C.
Medicare Advantage plans, would supplements be the same as?
No.
I mean, in Part C also?
No.
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 That's strictly an insurance choice.
Yes. And supplements are not
See
considered.
how dumb we are?
Oh gosh. Well, the thing about it is
you
they
know it
don't-
all, but we don't.
Well, they don't make it easy.
I know.
Because
I
here we're
know.
talking about Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D.
Yes.
And then they take Medicare supplements, and we have lettered them rather than, call them George, Don,
Yeah,
Sam,
exactly.
whatever. But they have Plan A, Plan B, Plan C,
Right.
Plan D. Well, that is confusing. We have an alphabet soup. So, but keep in mind, a supplement and Advantage plans are two different things.
Okay. All right, we're going to go over that. We're going to go back to that in just a second, but let's go to D. D is drugs or
Correct.
prescriptions. That is not automatically given to you. You need to purchase that.
Correct.
Okay, do you
Correct.
purchase that from Medicare, or is that an insurance option?
That is purely an insurance option.
Okay.
Medicare does not cover prescription drugs. Now, they do cover some drugs that are given in a doctor's office, like chemo. Okay, that is a Medicare drug. But for what we normally get, high blood pressure medication, cholesterol, those types of things, those are prescription drugs that are covered under Plan D, Part
Plan
D.
D.
Not Plan D, Part D, excuse me.
Yes.
I get confused with this stuff too.
I'm working on trying to confuse you, Greg. You know that. You mentioned earlier as well that Medicare very closely watches all the supplements and all the insurance possibilities that people might purchase, and they have a star rating. Is that correct? Where
That's
can we
right.
find out, like, who's a good insurance company and who's not, in terms of what we might need for Medicare?
Okay, let's talk about the star rating. Medicare rates Medicare Advantage plans and prescription drug plans. They have a 5-star rating, 5 being the best.
Okay.
The companies are very motivated to get a 5-star because if they
course.
can, then they can enroll people year-round. They don't have to wait for this annual
really?
enrollment period.
Only the
Correct.
5-star.
Yeah, only the 5-star. And plus the government will pay them more. So that's a double bonus to be able to get there. So they do rate them. They rate them on how their performance is, customer service, sales, the whole bit. So look at those. If you find a plan that's under a 3-star, you take a look at it. You know, because it indicates that it's not performing, or it's performing below average.
And that might turn around and bite you. I mean, maybe you'll find that insurance company goes out of business, or they're not really picking up all the claims, or you may get the invoice and it's not what you thought it would be.
Well, it's
that
just
kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not. It's just that people aren't satisfied with how the company is performing
for their daily basis.
Right.
We have Doris on the line tonight. Doris, thank you for calling. How can we help you?
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm on oxygen, have been for 5 years. And every 5 years you have to reapply. And the doctor 5 years ago wrote out bedtime always and daytime as needed.
Mm-hmm.
And this, now the Medicare is threatening to take my portable tanks away because my oxygen in my blood is always high. And it has to be down to 88. and a lot of times it's like 95.
Okay.
So maybe the question or for her might be, does she need some kind of supplement if Medicare is going to take this away?
Doris, I'm sure you have that. I guess the thing that you might want to talk with your doctor to see if you can get a Medicare waiver to be able to extend those benefits for you. But you're going to need to work with your doctor and Medicare to try to get that covered.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Greg. And again, make sure you follow through with that, Doris, for your own benefit. We don't want you to be without your oxygen.
Exactly.
We have Scott on the line as well. We're going to get you in here, Scott, very quickly. We only have a couple of minutes. How may we help you?
Yeah, my question for Mr. McDonald is, my wife and I both are on Social Security disability. According to her income, she gets her Part B premium paid by the state. However, I don't.
Okay.
My question is if I look into one of these Advantage programs or whatever, is that going to be like in lieu of the Part B premium, or is that something that'll be over and above unless I have like a income limit on that?
Okay. In that situation, Scott, since you have Part B, you will have to continue to pay Part B premium. The Advantage plan or any other plan would be above that. But as we mentioned earlier in the show, we have some very inexpensive Advantage plans that you can get on and receive some additional coverage that I'm sure would be affordable for you. People who are receiving both Medicare and Medicaid, those plans, they do have some plans in the county that are available for them as well. And you'll have to determine whether that's would be a good thing for you and your wife or not.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. You know, we're almost at the end of the show, and there were so many more questions I was going to ask or topics I was going to go back to, so perhaps you'll have to come back again sometime. Obviously, with all of the phone calls we've gotten, this is a very hot topic, and everybody has a different situation. Well, you can get a lot of additional information by going onto the internet at Medicare.gov. Again, Medicare.gov. And if you have not yet received your new Medicare and You booklet for 2014, you should be getting that anytime? Or
Yes.
should they have them by now?
You should have it by now.
Okay, all right. And next week, by the way, we're going to kind of go another direction. We're going to be talking about not just your wallet pain or your Medicare pain, but we're going to talk specifically with Dr. Lutz about neck and back pain. We're going to talk about whether or not injections are a safe way to alleviate pain, and he's going to also answer any questions that you might call in with. Meanwhile, I want to remind you again, because I know you're very modest, please, if you have any more questions about insurance, Medicare supplements, or Advantage plans, talk to Greg or a guy like Greg, because that's where you need to go, is to an insurance person that can explain all the parameters and help you get what you need. We'll see you next week.